The Raw Food Diet Healthy Choices. A number of new dieting suggestions are being introduced, and some of them are more practical and healthy than others. One that is fairly new is the raw food diet. The idea behind the diet is that a person can rely strictly on unprocessed and uncooked foods to achieve good nutrition. A number of people see it as a new take on vegetarianism. Raw food diets focus on plant-based foods such as nuts, seeds, vegetables, grains, and fruit. And though there are varying degrees of the diet, most diets of this type suggest that 75% or more of your food intake is living or raw. The reasoning behind the diet is that cooking food is not as nutritional as eating foods raw. Heating foods to a certain degree can kill bacteria, but also enzymes in food that can be beneficial in digestion and nutrient absorption. By keeping foods raw, you retain all of the natural nutrients in the food and gain all of the benefits. Proponents of the raw food diet also state that it can increase your overall energy level, help maintain skin health, improve digestion, and reduce the risk of chronic illnesses like heart disease. Not to mention the diet has been praised for its ability to reduce calorie intake and encourage weight loss. These diets are also known for having fewer fats, saturated fats, and sugars than typical American diets. This is primarily because raw food diets avoid the processed and refined foods that are prominent in classic American diets. Eating more nutrient-rich raw foods promotes good health and protects against disease. In order to switch to a raw food diet, you must swear off a number of foods that you might be familiar with eating. As mentioned, the diet is strictly vegetarian, meaning no meat products can be eaten, as eating raw meats can be extremely unhealthy. You must also give up hot, cooked foods. Doing so is not easy for most people, which is why it is recommended to gradually convert to a raw food diet, rather than change your eating habits all at once. In addition, just because you cannot heat your foods, does not mean you are forced to eat fruit and nuts right off the tree. There are many non-heat-based cooking techniques used by raw food dieters to add variety to foods to make them more tasty and digestible. For example, one can make fruit, vegetable juices by blending the ingredients, one can dehydrate or soak foods, and one can chop up foods to make them into salads and casseroles. As mentioned before, be sure to gradually make the switch to a diet of this kind, as doing so too quickly can cause negative reactions in the body. Also, be aware that raw food diets take a substantial amount of commitment and effort, since you cannot rely on fast food options or shelf-stable snacks. Even the just purchased organic food can lose its freshness quickly, so be aware that you will not be able to store raw foods as long. However, also remember that you do not have to go 100% raw and that eating cooked food